Hello, winners, and welcome once again to the Wrong Button podcast, where we talk most things nerd and pretty much all things gaming. I am joined once again by my fantastic co-host, Nick.
Hello, I'm on location this time.
You,
I'm fighting off a burp too.
I've been muscling through them. I've been muscling through some burps a lot recently, and I don't know why.
Probably all this bubbly water you've been drinking.
I have been drinking. This podcast sponsored to you by LaCroix. No, it's not. But if LaCroix, if you'd like to, I have a lot of lovely things to say about your limoncello water. Yeah, this is our first one together on location
In your new house.
in my new house. Oh, this is a lot of firsts. We're gonna keep talking about this for months, aren't we?
Probably.
It's a big change in someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna talk about Battlefield.
Okie dokie.
Battlefield 2042 got announced.
Yes, it did.
You and I used to play a lot of Titanfall
Mm-hmm.
together online.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, now we can't anymore because people ruined it.
It's kind of back up.
Even on Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, we might go back to that.
Yeah, I just need to re-download it.
I'll settle. I think I still have it. But I'm a huge Battlefield fan.
I like Battlefield. I liked Battlefield 1 a lot. That shit was fun. That was probably the first one that I kind of got into. And
Really?
then I went back and played like 3 and 4, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about our introduction to the series. For both of our sakes, because I personally I dodged one.
Why?
Um.
I remember you had some like not so good things to say about it when it came out. Not like not so good, but like you did not seem excited in the least about it.
No. We'll go into this later, but probably the biggest thing for me is weapons and variety. Whereas I felt like as you went back, like in World War II, to going to World War One, I your role was going to be severely defined, and you weren't going to be able to do the creative only in Battlefield shenanigans.
Oh.
Because that's really what I want to do.
Well, it had its own sort of thing in that regard, though.
It did?
Yeah, it had like its own, I guess meta would be the right word, of like the only in Battlefield kind of shit that you could do.
And we'll go into that. So your first then Battlefield is 1.
Yes. I was aware of the series beforehand, obviously, but yeah, that was the first one that I played.
My first one was actually Battlefield 1942.
The first one.
The first one.
Mm-hmm.
Came out on PC. I remember my father had gotten that for me. He and I would play it because
cool.
I liked military things, and he liked John Wayne in World War II.
Uh-huh.
So he was like, "Oh,
it's the same, isn't it?"
Well, were you? I don't know if your parents were of the era where like I don't play video games because you're killing people. But Nazis aren't people, so I can kill Nazis.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
no, not really. My parents were always kind of like there was definitely like no M-rated games in the house at at some point, but pretty much as soon as I got my Xbox, that like my 360, the first one I got, that changed. Yeah, my parents have not really cared about. Oh, like I have a cute little anecdote about that. I was playing Assassin's Creed 2. Have you played that? By the way, like the end of the game where like the dude becomes Pope, and like you have to kill him.
Oh,
my mom was like, "What's that Latin?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just killing the Pope," and she was like, "Okay."
There's a statement.
Yeah.
And now we're on a watch list.
That's fine.
Yeah. So I played Battlefield 1942, and then I played the base game. So none of the expansions. I wasn't allowed to play games online because this was the early era where it was only pedophiles that were on the internet.
Don't you dare go into an AOL chat room.
Oh, the stories about that. My mom would comment on this one. I fell off of it probably until my PlayStation 3 and Battlefield Bad Company came out. And Bad Company was
that not a PS2 game?
PS3.
Okay.
Bad Company was probably my like reintroduction to the foray, because I remember doing in 1942, people would stand on top of the bombers and just fly at each other, and you would try to shoot the people off, and it was a very, very stupid game mode, but it was a lot of fun. But Bad Company was I had just started to get online. I had just started to play, and then Bad Company 2 came out, and I was full on online, and that's when I started playing a game. I'm gonna say competitively.
Okay. Yeah.
So you were Battlefield 1. Why Battlefield 1?
Good question. Why Battlefield 1? I don't know. It was the newest one to come out at the time, and I was able to get it for like free or cheap, and I was like, might as well. And then I played the campaign, or the war stories, I guess is what they're called now. And I was like,
I heard the war stories were very good.
The tanker one was pretty cool, but I don't remember any of the other. Oh, the one where you play as like the French or some shit. I had put like 2 missions into and then just didn't touch it.
Was that the one where you died and it would be like, okay, this soldier died, and now you play as a new soldier?
No, I think that's at the very beginning, like when you first boot up like the campaign.
Okay.
The campaign, yeah, like you die and like, oh, next soldier, just sort of show you how fast people were fucking falling in World War One.
Oh, that's really, like, that sounds like a really good way to do. Because if I'm not mistaken from watching the trailer, it was you would play and die, and you would just kind of like be ripped back into somebody else behind you. Oh, like camera-wise.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
But I did remember that from like the beginning. I thought that was the coolest part of the game, was like that like intro part where like you're playing as this character, you're like, oh shit, I died. Oh wait, what's happening? Oh, I'm going into this character, and like it was cool.
It's when you say like this is showing you how fast.
Yeah, that's what I thought was cool about it. Like the whole. Yeah.
I wonder if you can make it, or if it's a script. Is it like a scripted death where you have to die?
I think you have limited ammo, so I think at some point you will just die because you can't fight back.
Fair enough.
So, but that was a long time ago. I don't remember.
No, that's completely fine. I can remember, like, Bad Company for me. Before I was really online, so I played the campaign. It was that like you're playing this every week.
Yep, that's how I was when I first started playing like Modern Warfare. The very first one, when I first got my Xbox, I was like, "Yep, I play this every day now." But just the campaign,
because you didn't have online yet. Yeah. You're like, I'm gonna go online and be great.
No.
Okay. So Battlefield 1, because that was the game that came out right next to Titanfall, wasn't it? Titanfall 2?
And a COD game.
Yeah.
That's why Titanfall 2 kind of got shafted, because it came out.
Because EA came out and said, oh, if people want to play both games, they'll buy both games, instead of going like, gamers might be on a fixed income and can't afford both.
Or, are people too and just have regular lives and jobs.
No, we're not. We don't have... This is my job.
Right? Yeah.
I sit down here and podcast. So why Battlefield? You got it cheap.
Pretty much. It was available. Yeah.
And the other one you played with me was you said you went back and played.
Yeah, a 3 and 4 online. There's like something through Xbox. It's like that EA Play. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Yeah.
You can get, it's like $10 a month or some shit, and I had it for a while. And you get all these EA games. That's actually how I was playing Titanfall.
Oh.
So I played pretty much every Battlefield game that was on there, and it was like 3, 4, Hardline, 1, and now 5. But I paid money. I paid money for that.
You and I paid money for 5.
I paid $70 for that shit for it to come out for when I got it like on release day, and it still took like 4 hours for it to download. Plus like the day one updates that shit always has. For the game to not even be that fun.
So let's go into that, because that's one of those. I've read a few books now. I've been reading books of development and watching. And I'll shell this out after doing the interview with Doc Squiddy, like 2 podcasts ago. We talked about a little bit, like very briefly, on quantify fun. Like if you were gonna be, I need you to be Nick Marketing, and I need you to sell me on fun. What is it that you go into when it comes to like a multiplayer game for fun?
I'm just trying to think of the best multiplayer experience I've had, and it's probably Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
It just has it all. It has good movement. It has fun fun gameplay.
Yeah.
Diverse gameplay with the difference between like the pilots and the Titans.
Different modes. The Titan
yeah,
feel.
exactly. Yeah, there's different game modes and all that shit, which I didn't know were like super popular. Me and you have only played like the team deathmatch attrition.
We played attrition, yeah.
And then I'm like on the Titanfall subreddit, all they talk about is like frontier defense. Have you ever played that mode?
That's the wave defense mode, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I played it once online a couple of times.
How many people would we need to run it?
I think it's like 4 people.
Okay, so we need 2 more.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to make 2 friends.
I'm bad at making friends.
Tell me about it.
Friends that also play Titanfall.
God. Okay, we're gonna go on Reddit and Pornhub. Got it. Okay, so Titanfall. Now you said you went back and played.
Ooh, or like the heyday of like Halo 3. That shit was fun.
Did you play Halo with friends?
Mm-hmm. The first time I ever played Halo was at my best friend Aaron's birthday. What? It was a sleepover birthday, and it was like him, me, his brother, and like 4 of his brother's friends, all playing like split screen 4-player co-op.
Oh yeah,
on like
you
a
could do
fucking
that.
CRT TV.
Yes.
Yeah, on Halo 3. Yeah, that shit rocked.
Because that
everybody taking turns, like loser, like gave up the controller. To the next person,
yeah. So that's for me personally with Battlefield. Like when I think about like Titanfall 2, because I played Titanfall 2 with the AR squad who we used to do the Rainbow Six videos with, and played Titanfall 2 with them for a little bit. They fell off, and then you were like Titanfall 2. I was like, no, I love that game. I'll buy it on Xbox for $3. I already paid for full price on PlayStation.
That game rocks.
And I played a couple times like without you, but it became I look forward to playing this with you.
I had played it for so long by myself, and then I was like, oh man, this is fun to play with somebody else. Yeah.
And I think like Battlefield for me, so I played Bad Company. I tried to talk my friend. I was working at GameStop like years ago.
When Bad Company came out?
Bad Company 2 came out.
Oh, I was gonna say.
And I was trying to talk my friend Andrew into getting it. And Final Fantasy, whatever the fuck, had just come out.
Probably 13 if it was around that time.
I think it was like just before 13, because I think
12.
I think 3 and 13. It might have been 12. 3 and 13 had just come, or 3 had just come out. Battlefield 3, and 13 or like 13 Lightning's Return or whatever the middle one was. And my friend Andrew had just gotten on it, so I had like everyone that I played games with and who like worked at GameStop. We would all do, because you could squad up, and then you could like squad up separately. So like you could sit there and like get into a group chat with other like select squads. So we could have like 8 of us in this massive game running around, talking shit and playing, a game. And it was a ton of fun. And that's really like, that's where like I said in the video, I was like, we used to call him a chopper whore because he got so good at following a chopper. He's that guy. And he's just always like, when I think about playing Battlefield, I don't even necessarily think it was so much like the game was so amazing. I think the community that you could build around it. Like Titanfall is an amazing game, but like I said, playing that with you made it a better game.
Exactly. That's a good point, because I had never played Battlefield online other than with the couple of times we did with Battlefield 5. But I would imagine it's a better experience with people. Like I never even played with like my mic on because I didn't want to talk to anybody if I didn't know them.
There's a fantastic we talk about this Battlefield Friends, Hank and Jed. You can watch all of the episodes on there because you talk about not having your mic on. The games, I remember when it was 32 on 32, and then it went to 64 on 64, and you could do open mic team chat.
Oh Jesus!
With 64 people, and we're talking heyday. Everyone on the internet can say the N-word with impunity.
Yeah.
And it was, it could be insanity. Like and they do a great job of like he's in team chat, someone needs to go get him, and they're like drawing straws, and he goes okay, and it goes to the menu, and you hear him select team chat, and everything just starts, his head just explodes. And I think that's one of the few parts with Battlefield, especially for PlayStation owners back in the day, we didn't have party chat. Like you've always had Xbox Live party chat.
That wasn't a thing with PlayStation?
Not until the PlayStation 4.
Really?
Yeah. So you had to get into a squad, and you had to like search for an empty squad and hope some random asshole didn't jump into it before your friends got in there. But I always liked how you could spawn on your squad mates, and it gave you a way to always be together.
Exactly, yeah.
So I agree that Titanfall 1, the moral of the story is Titanfall 2 is an amazing game. We should probably talk more about it. Everyone should play it.
Probably should.
But Battlefield for me, what made it fun was like always playing with friends. Now you consume some internet media content.
Okay.
I consume it. I've talked about Battlefield friends. But I think you and I have both talked about Level Cap, Jack Frags, Timio,
all the other like big
Battlefield.
Yeah.
Who did you end up watching? Because I remember we kind of talked about this at the hotel. Because this was, I think at the hotel it was still going on. Like, I would be watching Loadout, and you'd be like, "Oh, did you see Loadout this week?"
Or, that might not have been me because I got into Level Cap and all that shit when I was in South Carolina. So maybe we
might have texted about it.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, probably then.
And I think Level Cap and watching those guys, like watching the squad up video.
Yes,
you'd watch it from all angles.
Yeah.
Level Cap's, because he used to do it based on like give me a person. So he did like Sam Fisher. He's like, okay, so
he did like
5-7
a one too, yeah.
and see how he does. Did you have like because Battlefield you have all those weapons? Do you have like a kit that you're like, I want to run this just to try it?
No, because I'm not very good. I usually end up with like the base weapons anyway. So I'm like, well, this one does the most damage. This one has the best fire rate. This one has the best accuracy. Might as well roll with these, yeah. So I mean, I don't really play based on preferences. I play based on what I think will be good. Okay. Which is why I change classes so many times, like throughout the course of a game, is because I want to get. I think I'm like, I've never met anybody else who does that shit.
I think because. So what was the meta like for Battlefield 1 online? So that way I can kind of
a lot of sniping.
Okay.
Because sniping's really fun and really good in that game.
Okay.
There's like a sweet spot mechanic where like at a certain range, every shot's gonna be a one-shot kill.
Really?
Like one-shot body shot for pretty much everything.
Huh.
And all the different sniper rifles had different sweet spot ranges. Yeah, so sniping was super cool.
Was that in 5 at all?
No, I don't think it was.
Really?
That's another reason why 5 was such like a letdown, because 1 just did everything better, kind of.
Yeah, it was,
and it was the previous game.
Yeah.
So
it just happened to be because, like, personally, after one of the reasons I'm so excited for Battlefield 2042 is Battlefield Portal, where it's like, do you just want to have some fun bullshit in a World War II map? And I go, yeah, that sounds like fun for an hour. Yeah. Hey, here you go. It's already in the game. Go have fun bullshit on a World War II map. I can play it for an hour, and then like whatever. I'm gonna go do my thing somewhere else and like play competitive or play like on a ranked server, rated server, whatever it is. But Battlefield like 1 and buying like Battlefield 1 or 5, if those two I think would have come out as like one game. And it's like, here's World War 1, here's World War 2. I would have been so much happier.
Yeah, like here's Battlefield 5. It's a World War 1 game. A year down the line, here's the World War 2 expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably, yeah.
And it's like, because now that you're saying like the sweet spot mechanic, I'm like, oh, I wanna experience that.
Yeah.
And I'm terrible at sniping.
Me too.
Oh, okay. But it felt really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it gave me a chance to like actually do some shit with a sniper rifle, you know. And I thoroughly enjoyed. I actually like using medic in the game a lot too.
Medic for Battlefield for a long time has been the broken. Like if you're playing,
it's because it's the assault class in like the modern Battlefield games, and you get all like the carbines, the assault rifles. Assault get shotguns too.
Yeah, they get
I
shotguns.
think they might get shotguns
but
too.
you don't use a shotgun because the assault rifle wins.
Exactly. But in Battlefield 1, you get a few automatic rifles and a shitload of semi-automatic rifles. And then every class has like specific pistols that are unique to them.
Yeah.
And there are some good weapons in like the medic kit, but it's not so goddamn overpowered like in other Battlefield games.
Battlefield 3 or 4.
Because oh wait, no, never mind. Yeah, because the assault class is its own thing, and that's engineer class is usually the one with like placed explosives and shit. That's the assault class.
Yes. So
in Battlefield 1.
That they changed that from Battlefield, what was it, 3 to 4? Because it used to be the assault class was your LMG class. The medic class had your assault rifles. Your engineer had SMGs and shotguns. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. SMGs and shotguns. Snipers. And then I think DMRs went to everybody. In 4.
That sounds familiar.
I think it was in 4.
Because there was one kind of class of weapon that everybody had access to.
Yeah,
I thought.
I think it was the DMR, like the M14 or the M1 Grand.
Right.
Was always that. The Grand was Grand. Did they ever put the M1 Grand in 1?
No.
Okay.
They put Thompson in there though.
They did. Okay.
Yeah. It was like the prototype 1917 version of it though. So.
Oh, I mean,
it was like it wasn't like not like game breaking, but like what's the word?
It was
like a time traveling gun. It was like
it thematically fit.
Yes, thank you.
So for the M1 Grand has been in like every Battlefield. They're like, hey, here's the M1 Grand because in 1942 and 1943 it was 3 shots. It was ping, ping, ping. You drop somebody, or one to the chest, one to the head. You could recoil it just right.
Right.
The M14 in Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2 was close, and then they eventually put the M1 Grand in Bad Company 2 because you could do.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. One of the things that you could do online was the. Do you remember like 1v1 me, bro? You can't.
Yeah.
So in Battlefield, it was you got the 1911 pistol and the M1 Grand because you couldn't make any modifications to them. So when you 1v1 somebody, it was because you were using it was semi-automatic.
Gotcha.
But it still required more skill. And I just always remember like people talking shit, being like, okay, let's go get some Grands. It's like let's go grab 2 pistols and stand outside.
Shit, dueling pistols, yeah.
And that was that was one of my favorite. Like Battlefield had some like the 1v1 me bro was kind of there.
Oh, was
but
it?
Not at the same rate
as like COD or some shit. Yeah,
it didn't. COD and Halo I think got the worst of the 1v1 me bros.
They still do have toxic ass communities.
Does Halo still have a toxic? Does Halo have a community?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
We just beat Halo 1.
Yeah, exactly. Alive and well over here at Wrong Button.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially COD, toxic as fuck.
Oh yeah. I used to watch like the competitive COD.
Oh god, how gross was that?
Competitive?
Yeah.
No, like the Major League Gaming stuff.
I know, but still.
When you say gross, what do you mean?
I just have like if you're like, oh, I play COD, I'm like, I think less of you as a person.
Oh.
Like I just think that little of the series.
These were people who would knew if you ran slide and you threw the bomb in the air, you could pitch it across the map to your buddy and stuff like that. Which was always it's fun to watch. It's like watching someone play anything on a super competitive level.
That's true. It's something fun, yeah.
And that's one of the my few things I wish Titanfall had gotten that. Because there are times where I want to be like, I want to talk some shit and play Titanfall competitively.
Yeah.
And it's like, I played last Titan if I played last Titan standing by myself, I was not very good at that. I'm good at attrition, but it's not
anything else. Yeah.
But that's one of the few aspects of Call of Duty that I actually really wish was better, would be a competitive side to it. When you play Call of Duty, do you... Yeah, Nimbus and Jamie playing on the stairs.
Prancing around.
Yeah, if we're down here, all the cats will be down here with us. They follow. You played Halo, right? We played Titanfall. You played COD. Did you ever jump into like any of the like ranked league matches that any of them would have?
No, that just really wasn't ever my scene. Also, I'm not playing video games to get my shit mixed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I step into that kind of world, I'm gonna be getting my shit mixed all the time. So
and
it's
then
not.
I stopped playing video
Yep,
games.
yeah, and then it's not just really. It's really just not that worth it to me. It's not even fun, honestly. Getting like I don't know. It's a game. Come on, like.
I get that. I like there are times where I'll play a game and I want to play like ranked because I want that. You want to see how far you can go.
The only game I'm really like that with is Smash, where I'm just like weirdly competitive about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only game.
Do they have like a ranked mode in that?
No.
Oh, okay. Do you want to go to Evo next year?
Not with this shit going on.
What shit? Oh, okay. I was like, there are a lot of things we could be talking about.
Yeah, I know, right? Pick one.
That's a sad question for tonight, or a sad statement.
Oh well.
Like, what shit are you talking about?
Yeah.
So now when you played Battlefield, do you remember what mode you played?
I never got into Rush, if that's what you're getting at.
You never played Rush?
Just not. Too stressful. Not trying to defuse shit. Just trying to shoot people. I like a very bread and butter game. Like
it's perfectly.
It's straightforward. I don't want any bells and whistles.
So it's weird that you're like I want a bread and butter game. Rush is literally like funnel people down a hallway, and you're like I just want to shoot shit. And I'm like,
yeah, I'm like there you go.
Yeah, you seem to shoot really good in that direction. Like
really good being the operative phrase here.
Fair. But did you ever play like the squad 4-on-4 like team death matches?
Yeah, I mean I've played things other than like Conquest or like back to Battlefield 1, the operations game mode was super fun.
Oh, what was that?
It was sort of like it would set up like it would start and you would see like a map of like Turkey, is that
bombed out area?
Was that let's say Russia, because I know fighting took place in Russia.
Yes, I think there were things in Turkey.
Or like Egypt, anywhere in there. And it'd be like, okay, here's the British coming from this side, here's whoever the fuck else, the Axis coming from this side. And there are 3 like lines of battle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 3 matches. And as you play, let's say the Axis win the first match.
Okay.
They take some of the Allies' land. Allies win the next match. They take back their land. Allies win the next match. They start pushing in on the Axis, and then it goes like that to whoever gets the
That's right. That was their like.
It's like a marathon of matches.
Oh yeah.
It's like each day it's separated out by day. So like day 1.
This is where you're at.
Yeah. Oh,
those are the matches that could take like 4 hours.
Exactly. Yeah. Not necessarily the matches, but like the whole ordeal, the whole like operations thing. Yeah.
Because that was their like their flagship.
That was like the big selling point of Battlefield 1. Yeah.
I remember that and being like that looked it was really cool.
It was cool. Yeah.
Were there cutscenes or anything like that?
I mean, there were like voiceover bits, just like. Excuse me. I think it was supposed to like play out like battles that actually happened during the war. So there would be like commentary in between the matches, like back on like the map thing. So it would be like, oh, we lost this land. Go get them, boys. Let's get it back, or some shit like that. So not really cutscenes per se, voiceovers.
Because you were saying operations, and I went Killzone 3 had a game mode called Operations, where you would it would be like 3 it wasn't like 3 separate games, but it was like, okay, here is one longer game and you could accelerate through it. So it would be like, okay, hey, the people are coming in, you'd have a cutscene, and depending on how you ranked, you could see where your character was in the cutscene. And it would have like your name above it, like
right, yeah.
And if you won, it would be like you'd get like a bunch of kills at the end because you got you got them into the mech and you leveled the cannon and fired the cannon on the enemy team. And it was a really, really awesome. It was a really awesome feature that was hyper expensive. It never came back, and they never like added to it. So that was always a real bummer.
I was like, what do you mean by expensive? Expensive for them to
Yeah, it was
implement?
expensive to produce.
Damn.
So when you were saying operations, I was like, oh, did you get cutscenes? Did you get
No.
So was it the same? So I know you said you played Conquest, you played a little bit, but you didn't play like Rush.
Mm-mm.
When you do operations, was it like, okay, in this map it's Conquest, in the next map it's Team Deathmatch?
I think it might have always been Conquest.
Okay.
Conquest is the one where you have to capture points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think they were always Conquest.
Okay.
And that's always the mode that I played anyway, so I was like familiar with it.
Now, have you seen anything about the Conquest for 2042 yet?
I have actually not seen much about 2042. I was hoping we were going to talk about that at some point.
We spent about a half an hour reminiscing. We'll go into 2042. So 2042 is, I think, going to have, and I'll have to double check. And I have my phone in my pocket, and I could just check now. But I think it's like 120 on 120.
Fuck yeah.
Conquest is changing.
In what regards?
You have to capture like 3 points to capture a flag.
Damn, how big are these maps going to be then?
Well, if you're going to do 120, like otherwise you would be like, everyone stand in a line and let's go back to the British.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which I can't.
Forward march.
I can't wait until that happens. But what they're also doing is, so let's say one level there's a dam, right? And if you capture one of the points of the dam, you lower portions of it, so that way your team who's fighting down here can fight up. Whereas the enemy team has to like take that back and they can seal it. So you have to fight once again harder to get up there. And do stuff like that. So that's always been.
That's gonna be cool, especially with the 120 on 120.
That's
gonna be amazing.
I need to double check I'll double check the size real quick. But that looks really cool.
I mean, even with 64 and 64, that'd be cool.
That would be super cool on 64 and 64. Let me take a quick check. Let's see. Battlefield. Oh. Oh, they already have they're also doing a battle royale.
Jesus, they did that last time though with Battlefield Firestorm.
I didn't play it.
No, I didn't either.
Let me. Oh, I don't know. It's almost talking.
I didn't know what that was either.
It might have been Mrs. Play upstairs looking at something. Battlefield 2042. What is it? Conquest.
Is it just Conquest that would have the 120 on 120?
I think it's gonna have. I think it's going to have. The big news 2042 doubles the player count to 128.
128.
Oh, I thought it was big. Oh, maybe was it 64 and 64 at one point?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was like 128. Phil Huge 128. I could have sworn. Or was it 32 and 32?
Let's find out.
But so they have a. I'm excited for the big modes, and in order to help with that, they wanted to change up the way the campaign was done for.
There is no campaign.
Not campaign. They wanted to change up the way Conquest was done because, like, you would always have like a ton of people. So I think it would kind of feel stale, or like you couldn't get a lot of kills. Whereas here it's
32
like
on Conquest and Battlefield 5.
Huh?
32 might be 32 in Battlefield 5.
Okay, so it was 64 total. So now, okay, 128 on 128 though is what? That's 64, 60 times 60. So okay, so it is doubling. I'm really excited for that. Yeah, and like I'm sorry for earlier saying 128 on 128. Like I'm like, that is massive.
That's huge.
But did you hear like they're doing so in campaign? I'm sorry, in the Conquest, you had to back in the day you had to find a server. So now if you joined a server though, there are bots in it.
Really?
So that
they
way,
like auto populate the.
And then as people jump in,
nice.
They don't become a bot anymore.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that way, like if someone jumps out,
you can just fucking play.
Yeah.
And not have to wait for a match.
Or you don't have to wait, or you can look for like a full server.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm very excited for that.
That's a good idea.
Especially because you can buy servers.
Yeah.
So you and I could like buy the wrong button server and be like, hey, we're gonna stream and dick around in Battlefield tonight. Which is something I would eventually like to do.
Yes,
like just be
that'd be fun.
Yeah, just everyone get on. Let's play Battlefield and have fun.
Fuck around for a couple hours.
Yeah, like just whatever. We're gonna stream. We'll do it for charity. Nick has to get drunk for every time I kill him, and
get drunk or take a drink.
I don't know
because I would die if I had to get drunk every time you killed me.
Yeah, that's how I killed him of alcohol poisoning. Well, because all I could think of was playing Smash, where it's like you were like, I'm getting drunk, and I'm the one walking off the side of the map. Like I can't figure out which character's mine. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. So you never played any Rush, not even on like Battlefield 3? Because one of the best parts of Rush was it could, when you had to go to like different points, it could make it really cool. Did you watch any of the Battlefield 2042 trailer?
I watched the part where the guy jumped out of the plane and shot. Yeah,
you can see like
I watched that trailer, but that's the only thing I remember from it.
There's a guy who like has a wingsuit and he's like flying through debris at one point.
Oh, like by a tornado and some shit. Yeah.
So there was a Rush map in Battlefield. I want to say it was 3, and it was like Solemn Peak or something like that. And if you push the enemy far back, the second to last spot for the defending team was at the base of a cliff.
So and you had to like jump off.
You had to jump
that shit's
off.
So fucking cool. Yeah.
And that's one of the few things like I loved about Rush. And
that was only on Rush?
That was only on Rush.
Oh man.
Because on Conquest, like there was
it's just
like,
a full map.
Yeah, it was a full map, and they kind of took that away, so they made that a Rush only.
Gotcha.
And because Rush was started because of Bad Company.
Gold Rush.
Gold Rush. And that was one of those like really, really fun parts of it that I was like. So anytime a game decides it's like, okay, we're gonna make another game mode, and then they're like, well, how is it gonna be different? Well, it's okay, you can walk down a hallway, or you can walk across this entire map. But then it's like, hey, by the way, at the end, you have to jump to capture this point. Because one of the issues that people would have would be like, you could literally snipe straight down, and your bullets would have
no drop. Yeah.
But if you tried to shoot up, like you could have to like
angle that shit like crazy,
and like curve
arch it,
and when you saw someone get killed like that, you were like, the guy below that's a good shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was always super duper enjoyable, and that's just like I'm like, oh, you missed that one. And that was
I didn't realize I was missing out.
It was really dumb. It's like it's one part the other team has to lose to get to that point.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the part when you like fell was you were sitting duck. Because if you pulled your shootout too late, you smacked, and if you didn't,
you're just dangling there.
Yeah, you were just hanging there. So that was always cool. But yeah, no, I'm very excited for 2042. Levolution's cool.
Is it still in that game?
Yeah, it's gonna be in that game.
Whew.
That's what the tornado's for. Like the tornado comes through.
That's awesome.
The dam is Levolution. It has that, and I think they've said like Wake Island's gonna be in it in some way.
Nice,
because that's always in a Battlefield game. And I'm a huge fan of. So you came in. What was Destructible? It was Battlefield 1 fully Destructible.
Yes, I think everything since Bad Company has been, because that's when that shit was introduced, right?
Yeah, Bad Company 1. I think the house would always have like a wire frame, and you like for whatever reason like those steel bars in that game. As we've learned, like the metal in Bad Company is next level.
No, I don't think you could like crumble buildings.
Okay.
In Battlefield 1.
Because Bad Company 2's Gold Rush, the worst part about it was if someone got a tank and they positioned themselves right, they could just sit an engineer behind the tank repairing it, fire rounds into the building, and take the building down, and it would destroy the Gold Rush. Like they didn't have to plan it. And I think in Battlefield 3 they kind of moved the positions. But I'm very excited for. I think you and I playing Rush, we could have a good time.
Yeah, now that I know it's fucking cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I like that's something that they've improved on. But customization, you played COD a little bit. How was the customization in Battlefield 1?
Limited. Just because of the nature of the war that was fighting, there were no like. They had like some red dot sights. But there were no like ACOG scopes. There were no like high powered like 4x400 scopes. But you could. What it was is there was one weapon and then like 3 classes of that weapon. So like for example, let's say the bar, there was the the BAR Storm, Trench, and then something else. Trench has a higher hip fire because if you're going through a trench, you don't need to be aiming.
Yeah.
Storm had a higher rate of fire, and then I think there was like one other that maybe did more damage or was more accurate. But that's how a lot of the guns were. There would be like blah 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 trench, blah 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 storm, blah 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 sharpshooter or whatever the fuck.
That's truly that's like I'm scratching my chin hair. Right? And I'm like wow, that's actually like for taking something that is so limited.
They I thought they did it well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with like the scopes, I think you could like manually change the zoom. Like
that's cool.
Not like in game, but like in like the weapon customization screen, you could be like 2 times or 4 times. That'd be cool.
So one of the game modes that I wish they would come back with was in a lot of games. I remember it really well from Ghost Recon Future Soldier, where you had like it was the gunsmith, and you could explode the weapon apart and change out pieces to see how it would work. Watch Mr. Play's Ghost Recon Future Soldier if you want to see more about that. Self plug. But what they did for you was, I want to say it was in Battlefield 3. Like you could go into an area, and they gave you, it was called a shooting range, and they would put people like, hey, this person's on a Jeep. So that way you would know, if I hit him here and he's on this Jeep, how much damage I would do with the Jeep armor, kind of.
Yeah, I think. What game did you say that was?
I want to say it was 3 or 4 did that.
I think that's been a thing in every other one since, because there was definitely something like that in 5. I don't remember if there was something like that in 4 or in 1. I think there was.
Okay.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about, and that shit's cool.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, okay, it takes 3 shots to the chest to kill with this gun, or a chest to the shot in the head. Oh, but with this gun, it takes 2 shots to kill in the chest. I think I want to go with this gun. Yeah.
And that's something I'm really excited for. Like I said, I'm excited for customization. One of like the things with Battlefield, like not only can you customize the maps, because they in the trailer like they showed Nazis fighting medics with just the defibrillator paddles, and I don't like that. That looks stupid.
Hell yeah!
But do you want to have
so
a
awesome,
fun like 30 minutes? Like
the stupidest shit is the most fun. Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of like me like being a little bit of like a like being like towards Battlefield 5 and 1. Like I'm looking at this going like, no, this is a game that I can take seriously.
I think we all just need to admit to ourselves that I don't think any of us are really interested in old Battlefield games anymore. I think the majority of us are just interested in modern Battlefield, because even after 1, people are gonna be like, oh, the next one's gonna be modern. Oh fuck yeah, the next one's gonna be modern. And then we got 5, and then everybody was extra disappointed with it.
Yeah,
I think the expectation of wanting another modern game also soured
5.
The reputation of Battlefield 5. Yeah,
and I even went like, I wanted another 20. I wanted another like 2142. Like I am give me Titanfall feel.
That's exactly.
Give me Titanfield. I want Titanfield. Because they had like mechs that you could shoot in that game, and they were Mech Warrior-esque, like not very
slow and like
not very cool. Because in Battlefield 4 they got the mode with the hover tank at the end. The last expansion, it was like Endgame or something like that. But one of the tanks that you could get was like the prototype, and you could see someone like elongated in Abrams put some little things on it,
some lights, and it floats.
It floats. But like one of the cool things was you could go like this.
Oh, so like strafe.
It made the tank so much different. It also like that in that mode you could go to an area, shoot icicles, and you could pick up an icicle, and you could make that a knife.
Holy shit! I think
you had to get like 10 kills with it, and you could then unlock the icicle as like a permanent weapon.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm actually really here.
The Easter eggs in Battlefield are always cool.
They're always excellent. Yeah. Do you have like how are you with like customization then? Because like I think that's like, why don't we want to go back to World War II? I don't think it's like, well, we all know the Americans win versus the not. I think it's that at the end of the day, it's like I can use a Stanag or I can use a bar, and it's that's it.
That's it.
Whereas
it's just weapons technology has come so far since World War II that modern shooters just have so much more to work with in terms of like the selling point of the game, which is the guns.
Yes.
That I don't think, not that they don't have a place, but like they certain like old shooters, like old back in the day, definitely have like a place, but I just don't think that's what Battlefield should be focusing on anymore.
Yeah, and I think I'm of the mindset where for this one, give me all my modern. I hope the XM8 comes back. Like we've talked about it, I've kind of gushed about it in Bad Company. We'll probably gush.
That's
more
kind of
about
like
it
a forgotten weapon in real life, though, isn't it?
It is. It never became anything. It's sitting in some collector's shop somewhere, and no one's ever gonna use it. It's like the F-20, the F-22, the F-2000.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever like seen or felt one of those?
Fish. I've never held one. No, it's gross.
It's a
terrible.
It's a very hideous weapon. Ugh. Like when I say it's a boat, like you kind of just want to drop it in a tub and watch it go like this. Whereas, and it's because it's composite, like that's all it is. But and that's not to say like if they put a Thompson in Battlefield 2042 and I can use it on any map, no matter what, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna play with the Thompson.
I think old weapons work in a modern game, but modern weapons do not work in an old game. I think is how it unfortunately kind of.
You mean
works
so old
out
weapons work in a new game, but old weapons don't work in an old game?
If you're playing like I don't know, some cyberpunk game and you get like a fucking Peacemaker, you're gonna be like, fuck yeah, I've got a fucking
Peacemaker.
I've got like I'm a cowboy motherfucker. Like, but if you're playing like I don't know, like a Civil War game and you get like an M4, you're like, okay, well I just killed everybody. That was cool. Where was the challenge? Yeah, you know.
I think there was a game about that.
I think there was, and then you never heard anything about it again.
Yeah. I mean, it was all like the one. It was like someone went back and like changed Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And you had to go back with an M4 to fix Gettysburg, but it was still incredibly hard.
Yeah. Like what the fuck?
I want to find and play that game now. Like that just sounds dumb. But it's even. I think it's even further than that, where it's like
holy shit! I just remembered the name of this game.
Go ahead.
Darkest of Days. How the fuck did I remember that?
Because it's a really edgy name, and you're a really edgy person.
And fuck yourself. I definitely remember this being the cover art.
Oh my god, I do. I totally remember that. Oh, we okay.
Some Nick. Union soldier with like a musket. That doesn't even look like a musket.
I think it is like a future.
Oh
gun.
No, it is a musket on his back with like a fucking assault rifle.
We might have to play that dumb game.
Oh my god.
Especially if it's available on Xbox. Especially if it's available on Xbox. Because that's a 360 game.
It is a 360
game.
That's
an era. That's an era of like
3.2 from Games, 3.2 out of 5 from GameStop, 3 out of 5 on eBay, 44% on Metacritic. However, 95% of Google users enjoyed the game.
You know, I like how everyone else goes with like a 3, like a solid middle of the road, and it's like, I wasn't even expecting that.
Yeah, and they're like, it was better than I thought. Yeah, that's why they liked it. Because when you say a modern weapon doesn't work well in an old game, like you're 100% right. But there are times where like even going back and playing 5, like no matter what, I just didn't like how anything felt. I liked how the movement felt because I liked how you could crouch run.
You could crouch, you could sprint,
you could slide, you could vault and shit. Yeah, that was cool.
Movement's become really important.
Very good in games lately. Yeah,
good but like it's because like go back. Let's think of like Halo that we played. Let's think about any game that we played. The first game where like movement was like fun as a shooter to me, like I'm gonna say was Titanfall.
Same. I mean, it was the first game that I played that was, movement like that with like a grapple and a slide. And endless sprint is fun. Wall run, yeah.
And the other thing I will probably say about Titanfall that now I secretly compare it to like every other shooter that I play.
Me too.
Is
it's hands down the best in my opinion the best FPS I've ever played.
But the one thing I think I compare most about Titanfall and that I'm gonna like secretly gauge when I'm playing Battlefield is every weapon felt good. Like I wasn't good with the revolver.
Yeah, it felt good to shoot though. Yeah,
it still felt. And when I hit somebody, I was like, yeah, I hit them.
Finally,
and when I didn't hit them, I was like, well, I know I'm not good.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about playing any other game and any other shooter, even like modern ones, I'm like, what what is it about this that makes it so much? And when I want to quantify fun, it's like, okay, it's not just like, hey, do you want to be more accurate? Make sure you aim down sights. Like, you're more accurate, but it's not it's not a Battlefield where it's like, hey, you want to know why you're not hitting the broadside of the barn? Because you're not aiming down sights.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I'm really hoping they figure out a way to do in this Battlefield, because I love that all weapons have different stats. But if you like, I watched Level Cap, I watched Jack Frags, I watched Matimio. Who was the fourth person? Jack Frags, Level Cap, Matimio, and there was X Factor. X Factor is the other guy.
Yeah, I never remembered him.
I watched them, and you learned, like, oh, just make the M4 with this grip, and then you
once you realize that everybody's running the same fucking kit, you're like, oh, okay, I'm the idiot. Like, yeah.
Or if you built like a really doofy kit, it felt really, really good.
Or fun, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna put a scope on this shotgun. Fuck yourself. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And load it with slugs. Yeah, I know where you're going. Yeah.
Hold on. All right, so we got 10 minutes left. So let's go through some dumb shit.
Let's talk about the only in Battlefield shit.
Let's talk about the only in Battlefield shit. The shotgun, not the M80, not 870. The shotgun.
The Spaz?
The Spaz 12.
Okay.
Thank you. The Spaz 12, slugs, extended barrel, ACOG scope.
Is that how it went?
Oh my! So for those of you who don't remember, Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company 2, it was right after Modern Warfare, where the Coriolis effect had to be taken.
Every time I see the Coriolis effect, I'm like, get out of my fucking head.
It's only if you're over a mile, guys. It's only if you're over. It's not, hey, this is 2 streets away. Taking the Coriolis effect.
Yeah.
No.
You're like 2 blocks away. Yeah.
I could shoot by him and he should fall over. Like,
right?
That's how this is.
This barrel is warped. That's why I'm missing. You gave me a fucked up gun.
But you had to sit there, so the slug rounds, they had a max of about 50 meters, I think. And after that, you had to start arcing it. So what you would do is you would see somebody running, and you'd aim ahead, you'd aim up, and you would fire, put the scope down, and you'd see the hit marker hit him in the head. And it was just this, like, because you would watch the slug, like, lob into them.
And which game was that? 3?
That was Battlefield 3, yeah. Damn. It was one of my favorite parts of that.
That's sort of like the game that spawned the whole only in Battlefield shit. It was like
they went into it before, like, they said, yeah.
Because that's when Levolution started, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
They're
Levolution.
like, yeah, you can just break the stage. Go ahead. Yeah.
That was really good. All right, what about you? What do you got?
The classic jumping out of a jet, launching the fucking rocket launcher at somebody else's jet, that will never be topped for me. That will always make me happy whenever I see it.
There's I need to send you the Hank and Jet stuff, just because they make they have links to the videos that inspired theirs. Flying Jeeps.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would lay down all of your mines and C4 in one spot.
Okay.
I would put some on top of it.
I like where this is going.
And I had to drive the Jeep, and you had to sit in the passenger seat, and you had to do it. Because I was driving, and if I was driving over your stuff, it would give you invulnerability from your stuff, because you could still blow yourself up, and you would launch the Jeep. So you could launch the Jeep from, do you remember Caspian Border? That's the one with the big tower in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah. Your base, the enemy base.
Really? You just fucking airdrop yourself? Nice.
So you'd have assholes at the beginning of the map, and you just see, like,
what the fuck?
Yeah. Jeeps go across the top of the map, and then, like, the place behind you, and you'd be like, okay, we're gonna go. I gotta turn around to go take that point.
Shooting behind me, yeah. Oh my god, what the hell's going on?
And that was probably one of the.
I've not even heard of that before.
Oh yeah. You could, because you were invulnerable, so you had to, like, you had to work it, because, like, if you blew it up on top of it, it would just kill you, because it would be like, you can't do this.
Right.
But it would work with Jeeps, and I think in 4 they didn't let it work for Jeeps, but they worked for ATVs.
Gotcha. So you can get at least one person over there.
Yeah, you can get
They're
one
like,
or 2.
2 people, that's unfair. One motherfucker on an ATV, that's perfect, though. Catapult yourself into somebody's head, yeah.
I think you had to do it with, like, a squad leader as well.
Who the fuck finds this shit? They're so specific, like these exploits.
Well, I mean, because it would be like, hey, and I started looking into stuff like this from watching The Best Friends because Matt and Wooly and Liam were all QA testers. So when they play games, Wooly will sometimes be like, he'll hit something, he'll be like, oh wait, this is a glitch, and then he'll sit there for like 15-20 minutes trying to figure out like, well, what class of glitch is it? So I started like going into that, and like there are a couple of QA tester jobs I've applied for.
Really?
Yeah, they're all in
Nice.
North Carolina. I'm trying to see if they'll let me do
Why?
work from home. I'd love to be in that industry.
No, I mean, why North Carolina?
Because
No, I get the allure of the
I mean, there's apparently you get treated like shit. But I don't care.
Everybody everybody who has a hand in the video game making development, other than like the higher ups, gets shit on.
Actually, well, to end on a really positive.
Oh, let's say because we're about to go on a diet tribe at the end of this episode.
Oh, yeah, we're about to go. Yeah. So like people would just go on and be like, because you'd see something stupid happen, and it's that hold up, and then everyone on the map kind of like stops, and they're like, that like all the enemy like it's like that comically like you saw
right.
You're not even on my team, and you
saw that shit, right? Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna be back.
Yeah.
Hold this. Let's go over, and then you just go over and try it, and you like dick around. Like one of my favorite things to do in that game, which I thought was one of my major appeals, was like finding like having a sniper on a hill and be like, you motherfucker, like you don't want to deal with them, but it doesn't become like let me out snipe you. It becomes I'm gonna go get some C4.
Oh no,
and I'm gonna walk all the way around the goddamn mountain, hike over the mountain,
just to blow your ass
eat
out.
some jerky to see you with your thing there, and like throw a med pack and like hit you with a med pack until you die. Like throw a med pack at a wall till the wall explodes.
That's part of the reason why I change classes so many times. Because if I see that, like, to your point, as soon as I turn my head, it seems that I always get fucking headshot. It's like, oh, let's go. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah. Cool, awesome. But that's when I'm like, okay, time to outsnipe you. I know you're much better than me, but time to outsnipe you.
Time for me to get that one shot on you, so you have to move.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Let me do 2 damage because I hit you in the foot, but you moved, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. That's one, but like I was one of those people who like, because I loved watching like the Matimio and Level Cap when they would find somebody and they'd like keep throwing things in their face, or they'd crouch behind them like in a bush like off, so the person's like, where are you? And they're like looking around for him, and they're like, okay, and then like throw shit in front of him again.
It's
and the guy's
really
like, what are you
funny
doing? Like just being a dick.
I'm too impulsive because I'm like, oh sweet, free knife kill. And that's what I immediately do.
How did you feel about, because one of the things I loved about that was, after let's say I knifed you, you could like, because when I knifed you,
the dog tags, and
you got the dog tags. But like you got like I had DICE developer tags, so like
really
I could wear like DICE developer.
You managed to knife a
developer, yeah.
Wow, good job.
Yeah, it's there were times where they would just be on.
Like, yeah,
they would just be on.
I'm sure. I always like that. The Battlefield games are the games that I see the developers the most on. I personally have never seen a developer in any game, but I always like see shit on like the internet of like, oh, there is this DICE developer playing this game.
Yeah, like
there was this dev who played the fucking round of Conquest with me. Woohoo! They kicked my ass. Yeah. And then there was like the DICE camo you could only get, in 4, I think, for like doing some shit like killing a dev or some shit like that.
There were things like I think in 4 or I think it was 4 where it was like you had to do like crazy shit to go here to get the secret code to get in this room.
Oh my god, yeah, it's just like unlock a bow.
Yeah, to get the bow. I actually loved, and I think one of the things that I'm actually really excited for is I hope for their battle royale mode. Did you ever play Scavenger? So Scavenger was this game mode that they had where you started with a pistol, and you had 3 rounds of three magazines, and that was it. And you would run over here, and you'd be like, "Oh shit! Here's a G36."
Was it like a proto version of a battle royale? Where you just run around picking up weapons. And...
But you didn't put anything on them. You just had limited ammo with it. But you had an automatic weapon, and it was a team deathmatch based weapon where you could still like you had to like go over and like you could still do conquest, but it was called Scavenger, and it would be like, okay, Levolution already happened, and you guys are the fucked soldiers left behind who are just trying to make it out alive.
You're like, I lost my rifle. Luckily,
Yeah.
my pistol was snapped in. Okay.
And then you just pick up other weapons as you go.
That's pretty fucking cool.
A lot of people hated it, but it was probably one of my favorite. Like, the pistol doesn't get a lot of play.
I love playing with a pistol
in
any game. I'm like, oh, in-game money, time to buy the best pistol.
Yes.
That was the first thing I did when I played Hardline. I was like, let me see if there's a 5.7 in this game, and I bought that bitch immediately.
I think I got the slab-sided revolver or the deagle.
I never go for a revolver in a game.
I am terrible with them, but like
it's fun when you fucking get it. Loser.
I'm such a loser. But we're coming up on the hour.
I'm the one who named my fucking revolver class and
what'd you name it?
Revolver Ocelot because I'm a fucking loser too.
Oh god, that's such a. We need to finish that game.
Yep. Yeah, we do need to finish that game. We're only like 20 minutes up from the end.
We just need to get to the ending point.
I know.
But like just to end on a really positive note, because I don't know if you've seen anything with like Blizzard and like Riot and all the investigations.
Riot? What's up with Riot?
Riot's mini Blizzard.
Oh what? Oh, mini
like
Blizzard.
Like they're just as Activision, BlizzDivision, whatever. DICE, I believe, is like a Swedish company.
I think so.
And they've been unionized since before they were bought by EA.
That's good. Are they not getting fucked over by EA? Is that what that
they
means?
really like it's like they're okay.
Oh,
like,
that's
and
good.
they also like so far nothing's come out.
DICE LA too, because they're a part of like the parent company of DICE.
Well, that's good. Like they have paid vacation days. Mm-hmm. They have actual sick leave. Mm-hmm. They have all of these things.
Benefits that are actually benefits. Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where, like, even though I might not have liked 1,
mm-hmm.
even though I might not have liked 5, and let me be completely frank here, 2042 is probably going to come out a steaming pile of dog shit.
Definitely.
Because
that's the expectation for every big multiplayer game that comes out. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be garbage when it comes out. Give it a couple of months and it might be close to done. But that's how we are all talking about Battlefield 5, and then it was like, oh, yep, this is the last update, and everyone was like, what?
Yeah, but 2042, like I'm like one of the things like Battlefield 3, they introduced you could put a flashlight on a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever walked into a room and been like, oh, hi, Jesus? Like, you turned the corner with the flashlight, and it was like, Jesus Christ, your screen was white, and you were looking at God.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm going to come out of this with a gray beard. Yeah, so, like, I'm expecting it to an extent because,
mm-hmm.
one, you can't test for everything.
Of course not.
I also think that they probably took everything they learned from 3, 4, 5.
1 and 5.
1 and 5, and they were like, okay, how can we build a most complete version of the game?
That's the hope, at least,
Yeah. But I'm glad that they're going to lean into like the only Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that they're going to like be like, hey, let's do something stupid.
DICE is usually they have a good head on their shoulders.
They do,
business wise, and they have a good ear to the ground, like as to what the community wants.
Except when people say, hey, don't make another backwards. Don't go back to World War II.
Yeah. I don't know.
Honestly,
they probably just thought they had one more in them because like that was like their shit for a while.
Yeah. But the good news is here. It looks like they're going to be like, hey, do you want to play a World War II game for like a weekend? Yeah, you know what I do. Here you go.
Go for it.
Okay. But yeah, that's our take on Battlefield. The hottest of hot takes.
I don't think it was that hot of a take, but
well, I can make it hot. Battlefield isn't doing a Call of Duty and releasing Battlefield Vanguard.
What's Vanguard?
Shit. Vanguard is Call of Duty's new game. Guess where it's set?
Do tell.
World War II.
No shit.
No shit.
Didn't they butcher the last one that they tried to do?
I don't remember which one was the last one.
It's called Call of Duty World War II.
Oh, really?
You don't remember what it's called?
I don't remember.
Good. Nobody does.
Wait, that's the one. I wanted to play the campaign. The campaign looked really good.
Nope.
But they also remade Modern Warfare, and apparently it was not that great.
Really?
Yeah, they remade the campaign for Modern Warfare.
But it wasn't good?
I never heard anything about it.
I thought it was just... I thought it was just a remaster.
They did a remaster.
Okay.
And then they remade.
Oh.
So they made Modern Warfare, you had to buy Black Ops, whatever. to get Modern Warfare the remake.
Oh,
or the remaster.
It's like the reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Captain Price is still alive.
Yeah.
But he was alive at the end of 3.
Let the poor man die.
Look, I want my cigar chopping Captain Price.
No. That dude needs to just, like...
Go away.
Yeah, on vacation or die, because that man is on his way out. He only has a few more lucky scrapes before he finally dies.
He does. But yeah, so there's my hot take. I haven't even watched the trailer for it. I just felt like making fun of it.
When did that get announced, or did you?
Today.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys enjoyed this, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hey, honestly, if you could give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen, it does actually really help, and it's also a really nice dopamine hit. If you want to comment and say, hey, I love your intro music, and then I get your voice. You know what? It's one of my favorite.
I love your intro music, and then I hate your voice. Oh, this is good. Never mind.
I had someone, my favorite comment, my criticism on this, and this will sign off. Somebody left a criticism on, I think it was Apple Podcast. This sounds like the most hype shit ever, and then your voice came on.
Oh, man.
And I was like, yes, here for it.
Right?
But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are trying to be a little bit more cognizant of all of those platforms. And yeah, I will be getting Battlefield 5 on the PlayStation 5.
5?
Huh?
5?
I'm sorry. I will be getting Battlefield 2042 on the PlayStation 5.
Once I get my hands on a PS5, I'll probably get it for that too.
Are you going to get on the Xbox at all?
No.
Probably not?
I'm probably not going to get too many more games for my Xbox.
Okay.
Just because, not like I'm trying to phase it out, but I am really trying to get my hands on it.
PS5? Can you get Darkest of Days on for your Xbox?
Okay, if I can find it, yeah, I'll get it.
See if it's a download.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to get rid of it, but
Okay.
yeah, I'll definitely check for it.
Remember that you're all winners out there.
And keep it weird.